Hey guys, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. Hope you are having a good week so far. Good day or night wherever you're watching this from. Just want to make sure that this is kicking off. The stream is starting all right. So I appreciate everybody taking the time to join me this evening. Looking forward to having this, crypto live tonight and talking a little bit about what's been happening in the marketplace in the past couple of days. Obviously, all your questions about this weekend's crazy events and a lot more. I gotta sneeze as soon as I go on YouTube Live. But what is up, Jacob? Congrats again on that hackathon, my man. Raphael, Bobby, how you doing? How you doing, Chris? What is going on? And yeah, guys, as soon as we kick this off and as soon as everybody starts hopping in here, definitely ready to start off this conversation. Start answering your questions rapid fire as quick as I damn possibly can, per usual. Felipe, Mo, Hassan, what is up? What is up? Obviously, appreciate you guys taking the time. Let me just make sure this is looking all good on my end from YouTube standpoint. Checking out on my phone. Awesome, awesome. And guys, as we go into DeAndre, Jojo, what up? Gravy Train, hope you guys are having a good one. As far as this conversation goes tonight, I try to keep this unlike some of the other YouTube lives where they're just people talking to a brick wall and ignoring all the comments. I try to get to as many comments as possible. So I will definitely talk about, definitely answer as many comments as possible. If you have something that absolutely must be answered, throw it in a super chat. Otherwise, I'll try to get to as many as possible. But obviously, appreciate you guys taking the time to join me this evening. Colby, David, Vishnu, what is going on, dude? What's going on, Jambro? Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. So, Coiny McCoinface, haven't seen you in a while. What's up, my man? Tonight we got Bullet Rye, no beer tonight. Wanted to mellow things out with a nice whiskey. So, looking forward to having this conversation. This is the first sip that I'll have tonight, so I'm looking forward to this one as well. All right, guys, so let's hop into it. As far as today goes, it has been, I'll say it's been a fairly interesting couple of, dude? What's up, Chris? I always get BitConnect ads on your videos. Yeah, before I get into it, if you'll get the BitConnect ads, I think there's one or two people who I know they are from. The best thing to do on that is to click on those ads and then just go back. Number one, you help support me, increase my cost per click, and you ruin their ROI so that they can't hopefully run BitConnect ads anymore. So you get a double whammy of perfection. That's a great strategy. I was joking around that because Andreas Antonopoulos, because I can't pronounce his name, was upset today that BitConnect, not BitConnect, but you know who, was advertising on his YouTube channel and he can't stop it. So yeah, but hopping into it, guys. As far as today goes, pretty good day in terms of Bitcoin overall, and I'll pop over to on-chain FX. And as far as things go today, Bitcoin is up a nice 2%. Ethereum has actually had a pretty good run. It's at 334 right now. I dipped my toes back into Ethereum. I'll talk a little bit more about it, but I made a pretty substantial move into Ethereum around like 310. So that's been nice, and Bitcoin Cash somewhat settled off after the crazy pump, which I will definitely talk about, definitely answer all of your questions as far as Bitcoin Cash goes and a lot of the craziness that's happened there, for good, for bad, regardless of your opinions one way or another. I try to keep things as as straightforward as possible and as neutral as possible so you can get the best feel for things going forward there as well. But for the most part, where my money's concentrated right now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, good days there. Neo, a decent day, up 3.5%. OMG, up about 3.5%. So some nice things going on there. Yeah, Mickey T, I hear you, brother. I hear you. But overall, my blockfolio is pretty heavy in the green. And some nice movements today from IOTA, as well as Lisk and EOS. Personally, I'm not in either EOS, Lisk, or IOTA, but the platform plays have done pretty nice, and it's interesting to see, too, overall, some of the application development platforms we could see here on Onchain FX. The application development platforms, Stratus, Arc, and Ardor, all playing a pretty nice move as far as the day goes. So it's been a good day for the most part in crypto, unless we'll pull this up. Unless you're in Binance, Salt, Kyber, Vertcoin, maybe Bitcoin Cash, but out of the 60 or so cryptos on Onchain FX, only 9 of them have actually lost money US dollar wise. The rest are pretty firmly doing well, which is good to see. BTC broke the breach line. Will it go to 7,200 tonight? If it does, I'd be very pleased with that personally. I actually, as far as things go on my end, with the whole Bitcoin Cash crash, that the Bitcoin Cash spike that subsequently crashed Bitcoin, I actually sold some of my Bitcoin around 6,900 up here in this range, and then I bought back in at about 5,800. So I was able to shave about $1,000 off and buy back in and increase my stack quite a bit. Sold a little bit right here and then just bought back in immediately because I had a sell order, and so there's a little red arrow here that I sold at and basically just bought right back in afterwards with a market sell order because I had that set and then wanted to buy back in. But right now I'm riding the Bitcoin wave. I think some of the Bitcoin Cash stuff has died down a little bit. I'm comfortable riding the wave with Bitcoin. If it goes down more, I'm just going to buy back in. So that's what I've been seeing there. As far as everything goes, I have continued to stay pretty heavily weighted in Bitcoin. Could we be in a bearish market? Potentially, but I think a lot of this is quite frankly due to Bitcoin Cash and the debate that's happening right now between Bitcoin Cash, which is the real cryptocurrency. Is one better than the other? Is Bitcoin useless now because the transaction fees are too high and it's not scalable? Blah blah blah. Bitcoin Cash is definitely putting out the full frontal FUD campaign on Bitcoin, for better or for worse. I think it's overall both sides to me have merit. I think Bitcoin Core has some issues with transaction scalability, and the fees, quite frankly, are pretty damn high to send cryptocurrency. And Bitcoin Cash, there's centralization issues there, obviously, but the transaction fees are cheaper. And I think interestingly enough, when SegWit 2x got canceled, a lot of people that were maybe wanted that block size increase from SegWit 2x said, okay, well, we don't really have B2X anymore, so we're going to go to Bitcoin Cash, and that helped. And who knows if it was, who knows if it wasn't, but I mean, as far as Bitcoin Cash goes, some people have said this is not a coordinated pump and dump, but I mean, that who knows? It's still stabilized pretty nicely above $1,300, but that is a ridiculous pump as far as things go. Could that be attributed to FOMO? Inexperienced investors and a lot of other things like that. Yeah, it could, but that's a lot of money coming into the space, especially when you're talking about the size of Bitcoin Cash's market cap. We're talking about $15-20 billion basically in a day, which was nuts. I would say, yeah, Scott, I would say more likely than not it was. More likely than not, I would think it was. Looking at some of these questions here, don't fall in love with one coin or a girl. I don't know about the girl part or the boy part, depending upon your preferences, depending upon your gender. I hold no judgments. Love who you want, except for cryptocurrency. Don't love who you want. You definitely want to remain neutral and try to. You definitely want to remain neutral and try to figure out what's going to be the best play, and then don't continue to fall in love. That's burned me in the past personally with crypto. Is you fall in love with the cryptocurrency. I've ridden some cryptos up from 5 or 10x gain. I've at 1,000% ROI, and then once that 1,000% ROI, I'm like, oh, it's gonna keep going up. It's gonna keep going up, and then it drops from 1,000 to 900 to 800 to 700, and then I sell off. So don't fall in love with a cryptocurrency. Is actually pretty good advice. If it's time to sell, it's time to sell. Just make that decision on your own. What is up, M-Flow? What's going on, my man? Chris, I appreciate that super chat. Thank you so much for that, my man. $7.77. That is a nice number. I dig it. As far as Digibyte goes, I'll pop over here. We'll take a look at Digibyte on CoinMarketCap. I know there are a lot of people that have pumped Digibyte in the past for whatever reason or another. Personally, a chart like this, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. It just is in my opinion, that's a pretty clear pump and dump. And now there's a certain number of bag holders, obviously, who don't want to sustain those losses and don't want to sell. But that's a pretty significant, going from $2 million in market cap in March to in June, you're talking about almost $500 million in market cap. As far as Digibyte's technology itself goes, with what they're trying to accomplish, personally, I don't think it's anything. I don't think it's anything crazy that I would put my money in. And seeing the type of people that have pumped Digibyte in the past, I'm not going to name any names, but I know there's some people that have pumped Digibyte in the past. Is this coin's going to go back up, blah blah blah. That type of thing makes me not want to put any money into it. But I mean, if you're just looking at the chart overall, I mean, there really hasn't been much momentum at all in the past 3 months. It's basically been a slow, steady bleed off. So for me personally, I wouldn't touch Digibyte. That's the type of thing that, it had its day in the sun, it had its pump, it had its secondary pump up here, but outside of that, no thank you. Joseph mentioned don't fall in love with Bitcoin. I wouldn't say either that, too, that I am in love with Bitcoin either. I think that's right now where I choose to be heavily weighted, but I am not, if there is another cryptocurrency that one day takes over for Bitcoin, or if I see that happening in the future, then I'll make that move. The one thing I think that's interesting about Bitcoin, at least for the next, it might not be in the near future, but for the coming long term, I had the video conversation about that earlier today, where, let's see if I got Reuters up here, but Mike Novogratz talking about the institutional money that's coming into Bitcoin. It's still 6 to 8 months out, but I think that type of, if you're talking about big institutional money buying, they're not going to be buying cryptocurrency like Digibyte, or, they're not even going to be buying cryptocurrency like, probably like Dash or Zcoin or Stellar. They're going to be buying Bitcoin or maybe Ethereum, but probably most likely just like a Bitcoin. So that type of thing, that type of institutional money that eventually is going to come into the space, I think is going to drive up the price of Bitcoin. Maybe something changes in 6 to 8 months where Bitcoin is no longer that go-to cryptocurrency, but for now it is. So I'm definitely not in love with it by any stretch. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I like Bitcoin. I like Ethereum. I like Litecoin. I like a lot of cryptocurrencies. I think they all have valuable use cases and things of that nature. But I definitely don't want to say, I'm falling in love with any specific cryptocurrency, because I think that'd be, disingenuous as well. And yeah, we are right now, Bitcoin having a nice little bit of a run. $6,820. CoinBase, thank you very much for that super chat, my man. Really appreciate that. As far as the Bitcoin futures on CME, how will somebody shorting the futures really impact the price of Bitcoin outside of the futures exchange? I think I'm going to need to do a little bit more research, quite frankly, on on the CME futures and Bitcoin and as far as how it goes. But I know number one, they're going to be potentially trading as far as, as early as within the next month or so. It sounds like. Whoops. Within the next month or so, it sounds like. So that'll be interesting to see how that ends up happening, if that happens within the next month or so. But apparently there's going to be both a Bitcoin reference rate, which I think is a once-a-day rate, and then there's going to be a real-time index, which will allow pricing data from different sources. As far as somebody shorting it goes, I don't really know the exact. I don't really know exactly how that's going to affect potentially the prices on the exchange. I would think, and this could be completely wrong, so don't hold my word to it at all. But if somebody takes a very large short position, people are going to be able to have some type of visibility into that in some level. And if somebody takes a massive short position on CMEs, on CME, then that might. People on GDAX and Bitstamp and Kraken or wherever might look at that massive short position and say, okay, this person knows something that I don't know. If they're taking a massive short position, I might sell some of mine, and that will kind of bring the market to equilibrium in some respect, I think. But that could be completely wrong if somebody actually works in, I'm more on the tech side of the house. If somebody works in institutional finance, if you work at a large investment bank, if you work in legit trading, I would love to hear in the comments. But, yeah, that's kind of my initial take, but I do need to do a little bit more research as far as the exact way in which the CME trading and futures exchange is going to be structured for Bitcoin. I mean, I would think the futures market will have a pretty large influence with Bitcoin, for sure. Crypto Nova, thank you very much for that super chat, my man. Definitely appreciate that. Cointracking.info. I'll pull that up, see what's going on there. See what's up. Personal profit loss calculator. Yeah, so this is interesting. I haven't tried it. 75,000 users. I guess you can sign up for free. So I'll definitely check this out. I have not seen it before, so thank you very much for the heads up. I've actually been using, quite frankly, Bitcoin.tax to do a lot of my profit and loss and just getting ready for taxes next year. So I've been using Bitcoin.tax to just integrate some of the exchange data and some of my wallet data there to have my trades. And so that way, when it comes time to taxes, I'll just give my accountant a list of shit from Bitcoin tax, and then he can do it for me. So hence why I pay him. Litecoin not going anywhere for a while. Litecoin is boring. Who knows with Litecoin? I moved some of my Litecoin position into Ethereum recently. Litecoin is, I don't want to say always follow the movements of Bitcoin, but somewhat in some cases follows fairly closely. It hasn't performed great against Bitcoin in the past. I mean, anytime it's been below 0.01, it's been a little bit tough. Had a little bit of a comeback from its way bottom back in early November. But is it done falling? That remains to be seen. So somebody mentioned, what are my thoughts about Electroneum? Personally, I know there's a lot of people that have invested in Electroneum. I think it's kind of silly at this point in time. I don't think that they have any idea in a lot of cases. I think they're running into, quite frankly, a lot of difficulty. Electroneum is supposed to be the most accessible cryptocurrency, and that was their entire selling point, is that they were going to be super easy to use, super accessible. Pat's and I will get to your question there in a second, but Electroneum is supposed to be super easy to use, super accessible, great for the average user, and then they basically got hacked, and they also had no idea how to develop an online wallet or really do much of anything. And apparently it's a hard fork of Monero, and apparently the Monero team has said they've been all over their GitHub and their IRC chat trying to figure out what they're doing. So technically speaking, I think Electroneum is very good at marketing. Technically speaking, I think that they Have no idea for what they're doing with considering that they raised $40 million. Can they hire people? Sure. But right now Electroneum is trading pretty nice, trading nicely from the ICO. But the reason it's trading nicely is because nobody that invested in the ICO actually has access to their cryptocurrency. So this ICO, I believe at 1 cent, it's up to almost 4 cents right now. So up 300% or so, but that's just for miners. The only people that are making the market are miners, and the actual circulating supply of Electroneum here, I feel like would be significantly off, because all the people that invest in the ICO do not have access to their cryptocurrency. And I would think that a good number of people that invest in the ICO, the second they get access to that cryptocurrency, once that happens, will take their 300% profit that you're seeing right now, and walk away scot-free. But personally, I wouldn't touch Electroneum at all. I don't think they have the technical chops, but that's just me. Thoughts on Lisk and Vertcoin in 2018? Thoughts on Lisk and Vertcoin in 2018. So I'll pull up. We can look at Lisk. Lisk has had a really nice day. Where do we got here? So Lisk has had a nice day. It's up 14% on the day. Vertcoin is, I believe, cooled off a little bit. Lisk is Lisk is definitely a very interesting platform in a lot of respects. Will it be a legitimate Ethereum competitor? I don't know about that, but they're trying to be that application platform like Ethereum is, but in a lot of respects, they're using a more common language. They're utilizing JavaScript and Lisk APIs instead of utilizing Solidity that Ethereum is. That's Ethereum's kind of custom programming language. So in this case, Lisk is utilizing JavaScript instead, which is a lot more widely known in terms of application development. Do I have money in Lisk? No. Would I consider putting money in Lisk? Yes. Have I done enough due diligence on it yet? Not yet. But I think Lisk is definitely a decent place to, at the very least, evaluate because the product is a decent idea. What do I think about OMG, Omise Go? I personally am still in OMG. I got into OMG at around $1. And right now it's about $7, $8 at this point in time. It's definitely cooled off since its all-time high. What do we have here? It's cooled off since its all-time high. Its all-time high was around $13 or so. Right now it's around $7.75. Right now it's around $7.75. So I'm a fan of OMG. I'm going to continue to hold on for the time being. I think it's definitely been on it's been bearish since September, obviously. It hasn't performed well against Bitcoin while Bitcoin's run, but it might have found a little bit of support maybe in November. So we'll see. If it goes below 6, I'll probably just get rid of it at that point in time. Somebody said Bitcoin is still making a little bit of a run, so I'll pull that back up and we'll take a looky-loo at Bitcoin. And whoa, that ain't bad. So right now we got Bitcoin making a nice move, which is fantastic to see. If you're owning Bitcoin, that's good stuff. Going up from about 3 hours ago, we're down to 6,000. We're at $6,600 right now, about close to $6,900, which is pretty interesting. Black Capital One, what up, my man? Hope you are having a good one. I don't know too much about Everex, Jovan, so can't give too much thoughts. Power Ledger, a little bit niche for me personally. I had spoken to the team around the time of their ICO, evaluated the product briefly, or evaluated the token, the company briefly, and chose not to invest in it. So I know it's done fairly well since then, but I chose not to participate at that point in time. Thoughts on Chainlink? I think it's a really interesting project. It has certainly cooled off a bit since it's had a really strong run after the ICO from around 15 cents all the way up to 40 cents and is now really cooled off or in the 18 cents or so range. I like Chainlink. I think it has a good future ahead of it. But it's definitely cooled off in a lot of some of these altcoins. There's so many different places to put your money, so it makes it difficult. And then it seems like, at least for me personally, when I'm looking at this stuff, it seems like it's really hard for a lot of these cryptocurrencies to like maintain significant momentum. Like they'll get hot for a while. It might be a week, it might be 2 weeks, it might be 3 weeks, it might even be like a month or so. But once they go from hot to cold, it's like, and you've seen that with Chainlink, you've seen that with something like OMG recently, you've seen that with Neo, you've seen that with a lot of cryptocurrencies that they get hot, and then after a while, it just kind of dies down a little bit, and the excitement around everything dies down. Like in the past 3 months, Neo, I sold Neo. I bought Neo at $6, sold it at around $38. In the past 3 months, Neo has gone up and down all the way down to 14, 13 bucks or so, but has been in a pretty so-so range. I actually bought a little bit of Neo in the past week at about $28 or so, I believe. So right now sitting fairly even for the most part, up a bit. But I'm right now. Neo and OMG are, I'd say, some of the smaller altcoins I'm in. They're not that small, but Patson, appreciate that super chat again, my man. Viacoin, we'll pop this up. Take a quick look at it. I am not too familiar, quite frankly, with Viacoin. That's a crazy movement, which you can recall from a lot of coins that started off around 2014, where they had those big initial spikes and then they just died for. Viacoin's market cap was $89,000 for a while, and now its market cap is up to 33 million. Pretty incredible. But yeah, as far as Viacoin goes, I don't have too much background on what it is. Child pays for parent support, Lightning Network. That's interesting. But now I would need to do a little bit more research as far as Viacoin goes to give you any type of really specific information on that. So I'm reading through some of these questions. I obviously appreciate all the thoughts and trying to get to as many as possible. So if I can't get to yours, you can always ask it twice. And if you really wanted to answer, throw it in the super chat. I will definitely answer it then. But I obviously, like always, appreciate all the comments and the questions. Super awesome to be talking to each and every one of you. And if you are new to the channel by any chance, hit the subscribe button and then hit the little notify bell, just so next time when I do go live, you get a little notification when I go live, and I usually do an advance warning there as well. So Cardano, Cardano's an interesting cryptocurrency for sure. Do I love Cardano? I think Cardano started off a little bit like richer than I would prefer. I mean, Cardano kind of like came out of nowhere with like this $400-500 million market cap. So I think the upside in that, I don't want to say the upside is super limited, because if it is successful, it could be a multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrency. But but it's still a little bit higher than I'd like. So the return on, unless, the way you're going to get a 10x return on your investment is if Cardano goes to $6 billion or so. Whereas if something like, a smaller cryptocurrency, a $50-100 million cryptocurrency goes up 10x, then that only needs to get to $500 million is in market cap, or Cardano's point right now. So that, I think Cardano is an interesting project. I think it has a fairly decent roadmap, but market cap wise, it wasn't super appealing to me off the bat. So so that's kind of where where I'm looking at this point in time. Sorry, just checking out an email. Looking at some of these, BitConnect is the best Ponzi. Yeah. Any $5 coins less than $5 coins, Blix mentioned that you are possibly looking to get into. Personally, I don't look at things as how expensive they are on a per coin basis. I look at things at how expensive they are on a market cap basis, because Cardano is only 2 cents, 2.6 cents, but it has a $700 million, close to $700 million market cap, which limits its potential upside depending upon how big it can get. But, you might have a smaller cryptocurrency down here. Let's just say something like, I have no incredible involvement with it, but Walton Coin. Walton Coin's at $5.41. It's at $134 million market cap. It's above $5, but if Walton Coin 10x's, that'll be a $50 cryptocurrency. It'll have to hit up a $1 billion valuation, but that is something that it's more of the market cap and what percentage it could increase, not necessarily. I don't care if a cryptocurrency is like Bitcoin and it's $7,000 or $6,000 per Bitcoin, or if it's like Dogecoin and it's a tenth of a cent. As long as the market cap is real, as long as the market cap is realistic, and I think you can get a percentage gain off of that. So looking at some of these questions as well. Yeah, somebody mentioned the Bloom ICO. So I actually interviewed Jesse. I can't pronounce his last name off the top of my head, but I interviewed Jesse previously on the back in like September. So I think their token sale starts. Let's see, 15 days or so. I need to do a little bit more evaluation there, but I will likely be looking to participate in the ICO. That's something that I think, from my perspective, they have really interesting. The way they're going about things really interesting. I know that Acapulco Ron, thank you very much for that. I have no idea what MX is. I have no idea what MX is, but 50 of anything is awesome. So thank you very much, Acapulco Ron. I'll hop into Lumen in a second, definitely answer yours, but Bloom is really interesting, the way in which that they're going around credit. Pretty aggressive project, some really big potential implications. If they can pull it off, it's fantastic, and I think they have a really solid team in place, and they have really good connections in San Francisco. Jesse, one of the co-founders, was a Peter Thiel fellow, like Vitalik Buterin was, so super bright guy, super sharp, and I think Bloom is pretty interesting crypto. The hard cap, $50 million, it's aggressive, but it's fairly realistic. The ICO market has cooled in general, which is unfortunate, but we'll hop into that. So 3 super chats. Thank you very much, guys. I'll pop into each one of those for right now. Thoughts on Lumen? So I'll pop into Lumen real quick. Got Stellar Lumen. So Stellar Lumen's had the partnership with IBM, had a nice little bit of a spike after that partnership, and has since cooled off a little bit from that. So that spike almost happened exactly a month ago, where it went from around 17 cents all the way up to like 40, or it went from less than 2 cents, to over 4 cents, and then cooled down a little bit to where we're at right now, which is back in the 3 cent range. So Lumen has had a nice run for sure. Interesting platform. Will it be something that really is highly adopted and utilized? The IBM partnership certainly speaks to that. IBM is obviously a massive company. We could see who uses Stellar. You have Deloitte. You have a number of different companies from a remittances perspective. Then there's also the IBM partnership. So there's some really interesting things going on there. I think they have a team that might be able to execute. But as far as the actual background behind the cryptocurrency itself, I need to do a little bit more due diligence. But the partnerships they've had so far have been appealing to me there. CoinBase, I haven't actually tried to stake Qtum yet, no. Patson, do you see XRP surpassing Bitcoin if adopted by the banks? I don't personally. I think XRP, I think Ripple has a pretty limited use case. And it is a fairly centralized cryptocurrency as well. It's obviously owned by Ripple. Some other folks have mentioned previously as well, as far as some of those banks just developing that technology internally on their own, potentially for cheaper, more cost effective. And I know personally, working in Manhattan, knowing a lot of people in the financial industry, knowing software engineers at banks like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, that they have entire teams dedicated to this stuff, and they have teams kind of capable of working in the blockchain space. So will they adopt Ripple? Will they utilize it? It remains to be seen, but I don't know if we'd see $100 billion. If you're talking about that in terms of startup value, one of the largest startups in the world is Uber, a $50-70 billion valuation. If you're looking at Ripple's coin market cap or just overall crypto market cap, that's an $8 billion cryptocurrency. If you think it'll exceed Bitcoin, you're talking about a $100 billion valuation. I don't think Ripple would really ever, even if it completely dominates the banks and is like the most widely adopted cryptocurrency, I still wouldn't think it'd be worth $100 billion personally. Mr. James, thank you very much for that super chat, my man. I am new to this. Where should I start? How new and where are you looking to start? So I would personally, I think I made a video about it in the past. So if you want to Google how I would start, I made a video where I talked about how I would start investing in cryptocurrency with $1,000. Basically breaking it down, my big recommendation is start buying like 50%, whatever money you have. It should be money that you're not afraid to lose. So if you're not afraid to lose $1,000, if that's not a game changer, if that goes to zero, then go for that. If $5,000 is something if you got $100,000 in the bank and you don't care if you lose $5,000, then go for that. Whatever it might be. If it's $500, if it's $200, it doesn't matter. But ultimately, I think you should, when you start off, invest like 50% in Bitcoin and then like 50% in Ethereum or Litecoin, some of the other cryptocurrencies, or you could just do all in Bitcoin. But ultimately, I think what's helpful is when you start off investing in those larger cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin, because if they go down, you're going to learn through the process. So invest in like Bitcoin, invest a little bit in Ethereum or Litecoin, and track those market movements for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, for a month. Start learning about the cryptocurrency world. Start getting a feel for what happens. And don't try to chase crazy returns. That's the biggest thing that a lot of people do is they'll look at Bitcoin and they'll see, wow, this is worth $114 billion. And if I bought $10 worth of Bitcoin back in 2011, I'd be a multi-billionaire now. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to look at UBIC and I see it's worth $1.27. But if UBIC becomes the next Bitcoin and I buy $1,000 worth of UBIC, then I'm going to be a billionaire or multi-millionaire. Unfortunately, for the most part, it doesn't work like that. Could something dethrone Bitcoin? Could something be better than Bitcoin in the future? Yeah, it could. But the likelihood of that happening is fairly slim. And if you're not experienced, you're just kind of throwing a shot. You're throwing darts in the dark here. And when you're doing that, the problem with investing in these smaller cryptocurrencies is they're much more volatile. So if you invest $1,000 in something like, for example, Wings up here, you invest $1,000 in Wings. If it has a bad week, that could go down 50%, and your $1,000 goes down to $500, and you're freaking out. Then you don't like crypto anymore, and you're gone. So I would recommend starting off with some of the bigger cryptocurrencies, and I find that to be helpful. Darren Adams, how do you keeping track of profit losses for tax purposes? Here you go. Bitcoin.tax is what I've been using recently. Since we trade and trading is a centralized system, what is your position about taxes, future backlog, taxes if regulations are imposed? I mean, I'm not an accountant. I don't know what jurisdiction you're in, if you're in the United States, if you're in Europe, wherever, but I would say just follow the damn laws and pay your taxes, especially in the U.S. I know there were, I think, 500,000 accounts last year on CoinBase, and only 900 people actually claimed capital gains taxes on Bitcoin and from a CoinBase wallet. So you can be damn sure that the IRS is going after people with crypto because they know people made money this year. So, Coiny Bitcoin Face. I was just using UBIC as an example. Nothing on UBIC. I dig UBIC. Max Sturgis, what are my thoughts on Navcoin here? So Navcoin's one that I've done a little bit of diligence on in the past. I actually had somebody reach out to me from Crypto Supply Co. Appreciate that, my man. Here's money for another beer. I'm actually running out, if you could see here, pretty low on Bullet Rye, unfortunately. Too many crypto happy hours, so I'll use that $2 and put that towards another bottle of rye for sure. So, Max, thoughts on NAV? Privacy coins, very interesting. Monero has obviously had a great run. Zcash has had a good run. Zcash has had a good run. I had a friend from IBM, like I said, that reached out to me and talked a bit about Navcoin, said it had a lot of potential. He evaluated it. Trust his opinion quite a bit. I need to do a little bit more due diligence on it, but overall, the privacy coins are interesting. I think they are going to have a legitimate use case, especially when you go back to the tax point of, the tax question in that thing is, my best advice is to just pay your damn taxes. But there's some people out there that are like, yo, screw everybody else. I want to do me. And it's my damn money. So, if you're thinking that, then you're looking at something like, potentially taking your money, putting it in Monero or Zcash or Navcoin. So something to consider. I think that, maybe one or two privacy coins are going to do really well. Could Nav be that privacy coin? Potentially. Going down here, checking out some of these questions. Don't do them. I live in New York. Do I know the infamous Bitcoin screaming dude from the conference? BitConnect! That was a really bad impression, but let's see if I can find it. No GIFs? That's bullshit. How does Giphy not have any BitConnect GIFs yet? Well, apparently not. But I've seen the GIFs all over, or the GIFs, however you want to pronounce them, all over Twitter. I do not know him. I don't think I ever want to know him. Yeah, I try to keep in company with good folks and not dudes that are screaming, no, 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 no. This is not the same way that things were before BitConnect. So I'll pass. I don't know what Valhalla mining is, personally. No clue. How long you live online for? Until I run out of whiskey, or until my brain starts hurting, or yeah, I try to go as long as possible, or until I have to go to the bathroom. Yeah, James, I typically, at least in the U.S., tend to agree with that. So I'm gonna play it safe. It ain't worth the risk for me, but for some people, it's worth the risk. So, you know what? Like I said, I am not an accountant. This is not legal advice. This is not financial advice. You do you. Taking a look at some of these questions here, folks. Trying to make sure I got all of them down. Would I rather be holding Stratus or Neo in 2018? First of all, thank you, Corey. I appreciate that super chat very much so. So Stratus or Neo? So we got Stratus, $377 million market capitalization. Neo in the close to $2 billion valuation. Potentially more upside when you're talking Stratus. Stratus has also been around for, I personally, for me, I would rather be holding Neo in 2018 than I'd rather be holding Stratus. I haven't seen a lot out of Stratus long term that has shown me that it's ever going to, have that. There are a lot of cryptocurrencies like it. Stratus, in May, June timeframe when the big altcoin run happened, Siacoin, whatever it is. There are a lot of cryptocurrencies out there that had those big runs in like May and June, got a lot of people excited, and then just haven't done jack crap since since that peak when it was $1 billion valuation back in early June. So I would rather hold on to Neo. I think it's shown a lot more stability, and it's actually, for the most part, kept its value in the past 3 months. It's gone up, it's gone down, but it hasn't shown this like straight downward trend that Stratus has. So I personally would rather do Neo. Right now I am holding Neo, so also take that with a grain of salt. I do have a small position in Neo, but we'll see what ends up happening there. What is the price of one prop token? I don't think they have priced the ICO out yet. I think I'm actually going there. I think I'm actually going to the YouNow Props office on Friday. If anybody's in Manhattan, they're having a happy hour, I believe, on Friday night. So I'm probably going to go over to their office for their happy hour. I met some pretty cool people the last time I was there. A bunch of crypto hedge fund folks and smart individuals in the space. So it was a pretty good event for me. So, but I don't believe the actual token is priced out yet. I have not tried Neo on a Nano S. I don't know if Nano S has built out Neo yet. But yeah, I don't know if they've done that yet. And for all you folks that have talked before, what do we got here? So I know a lot of people before have said, I tried to put this in the description, I don't know if it actually went in the description, but that the super chat doesn't work for you. And if you ever want to throw your man Bobby some crypto and you want to throw me some ETH or some ERC20 tokens, there's an ETH address for you. If you ever want to throw any tokens my way, I won't stop you from it. But I'm not one of those BitConnect millionaires, unfortunately, that's giving out 10,000 Bitcoin every single day on referral fees and doing those stupid ass random comment generators. So that stuff drives me nuts. Hey guys, why don't you comment with your question and your Bitcoin address? And nobody's actually going to say anything because nobody cares, but I'm just going to try and game the YouTube algorithm so that I can get my BitConnect referral videos out to more people. And then if you like this video, I'll give you 0.1 Bitcoin. Hey, what's up? Deonda, I have no idea how much money I'm going to put into the Bloom ICO. I am a Doge Connect millionaire. That is true. Doge Connect, though. That is the hot ICO on the streets, if you're not aware. CME Bitcoin futures talked about it a little bit previously. So talked about CME futures a little bit previously. I think overall it's going to be good for the space. A lot of people have said that it opens things up to potential. It opens things up to potential market manipulation, and that it's manipulated gold in the past before and silver in the past. Janet, it's manipulated gold in the past. It's manipulated silver in the past, and some things like that. But I think that right now there's not a lot of institutional opportunities out there for big investors to get into the crypto world. So it's going to provide a really good opportunity for them to do so without having to directly own Bitcoin because they don't have the constitutional, the custodial services. Janet Yellen, you're the Fed chairman. What do you need ETH for? I'll never let anybody down easy. That's not my MO. Vidette, thank you for the question there. Do I think that Bitcoin will go back up stronger after the huge drop due to Bitcoin Cash? Well, I mean, if we're zooming out a little bit, Bitcoin has already had a pretty nice recovery from the two downtrends from where Bitcoin twice hit $5,600. I mean, we're up to close to $6,900 at this point in time. So overall, it's been a fairly nice recovery. It's been nice to see some resiliency there. Interestingly enough, I think Bitcoin is been basically trading almost opposite of Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash goes up, Bitcoin Cash goes down, Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin Cash goes up, Bitcoin goes down. They've been trading kind of opposite ends of the spectrum all over the place since at least like this weekend. So that's been quite interesting to see. We just saw Bitcoin to $6,900. When it breaks those psychological marks, it typically skies through. So, yep, 6,900, 6,916. Let's see how much this might run above $6,900, if at all. But typically when Bitcoin and when cryptocurrencies break those psychological barriers of $100 or something like that, it tends to just pop through and really make a run. So we're seeing it up, 69.10. It was up to 69.16. So let's take a quick look and see if this might be something that continues to sky upwards, or if it cools off a little bit. Gravy Train, yeah, Carrier Pigeon ICO. They need a relief, my man. They need a relief. And Keith, yeah, let's get to 7,000. That would be fantastic to see. I mean, we still have $90 or so, but could 7,000 happen? Yes. And if it happens, could it run up quite a bit more? Yeah. And I'm kind of interested to see right now, as well as Bitcoin is up to 6,900, what's going on with Bitcoin Cash, because they have typically traded opposite. Yeah, so we can kind of see here Bitcoin Cash a little bit is on the downward trend as Bitcoin is on the upward trend today. So not too many thoughts presently on Factom yet. I need to do a little bit more research there, quite frankly. Terry, that's messed up. You're objectifying males. I don't like it. This is a sex positive podcast, as Pardon My Take would say. If I got any stoolies on the line, who knows? Is Coinigy worth it compared to free TradingView? I like Coinigy. For me, it's worth it. I think I pay $15 a month for it, or $20 a month, 19, whatever it might be. I like it. For me personally, I enjoy it. I think it works well. You can integrate it with your trades, and I also like that it's just crypto. I think TradingView is a lot of other asset classes as well. So I like that this is simply cryptocurrency. BS44, appreciate the super chat, my man. Not really into crypto, but not really crypto related. But can you let me know what screen capture software you're using? Cheers. Yeah, it's actually something called OBS. So if you're not familiar with it, it's actually pretty legit OBS software. Hey, go to OBS Project. It's free. It's open source software, much like Bitcoin, and it's actually pretty damn functional as well. So you can do YouTube live streams with it. You could do a lot of different, you could do YouTube live streams. I use this to record my videos as well. Basically everything. So the green screen is with, this is a damn green screen right now. So I have a whole background behind me, but yeah, all with OBS. So I like it quite a bit. Why is Bitcoin going up while its development is in a stalemate? So, I mean, as of right now, well, interestingly too, we see Bitcoin Cash dropping a little bit as Bitcoin is making a run right now. Why is Bitcoin going up as development is in a stalemate? I don't necessarily think development is in a stalemate. Is it advancing as far as a lot of people want it to? Not necessarily. Is transaction scalability happening? Not necessarily, but it's acting like the best store of wealth possible right now in the crypto world. So I think that's a lot of the reason why it's going up, or the fact that Bitcoin is that store of wealth. So somebody mentioned, let's see here. Does Coinigy integrate with Gemini, BTC, and ETH trading? I know it does for GDAX, so I would assume it does for Gemini as well. Heard anything about crypto tied up transferring funds between GDAX and Bittrex? Been waiting 4 days so far. It hasn't happened to me before. I haven't really had an issue. I would just check your transaction. Check the transaction in the blockchain explorer of whatever you're utilizing, and see what's going on, see if it's still held up, see if there's something going on with a lot of the other. I would file a ticket, but also just check the transaction and see what's happening there. How do I use a green screen with the OBS software? I watched the YouTube video. Like everything in life, watch YouTube videos and learn, and that's all I do. Store of wealth with no use case. Yeah, right now the use case is a little bit limited, for sure. But all in all, I think that there's a lot of talent built up around Bitcoin. I mean, everything's debatable. Yeah, I mean, there's people that hate Bitcoin. There's people that love Bitcoin. There's people that hate Bitcoin Cash. There's people that love Bitcoin Cash. I try to stay fairly neutral and look at the positives and negatives of each cryptocurrency, where they're successful, where they're not successful, what is happening at all. So I try to stay as neutral and basically get as best information as possible. But when somebody says, yeah, Bitcoin doesn't have a use case right now outside of being a store of value, there's valid points to that. I think there are. Does that mean that I don't have 50% of my crypto portfolio in Bitcoin? No, I have 50% of my crypto portfolio in Bitcoin. So what are my opinion on USI Tech? I know this is itchy as hell. Let's see here. So earn free coins, blah, 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 blah. Anybody has a dash in their domain name? Automated Bitcoin trading platform. Anything that's automated, anything with guaranteed returns and long-term success. Blah, 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 I don't know. Not something I'd put my money into personally. I think with any of these cryptocurrencies, any of these potential cryptos that have this big, this triangle thing where it's, not a something, but it just represents a triangle. You have to be careful. Can you make money in the short term on them? Yes. Are they going to last forever? Yes. No. Are they going to last forever? Probably not. Could you make money before they go poof? Yeah, maybe. Could you lose all your money the second, could they go out of business tomorrow? Yeah, they could. So anytime you go into something with automated investment or, guaranteed returns and all that crap, you're taking a big risk. So I wouldn't touch it personally, but that's me. Thoughts on Filecoin? Filecoin's an interesting one. A lot of, I don't think it's out yet, at least tradable. Filecoin was only open to institutional investors, so I didn't participate in it. It's competition to storage. It's competition to a lot of other cryptocurrencies. Not the only one doing what it's trying to do. They had a lot of backing from, like I said, institutional and accredited investors. They had a lot. Their team is really strong. They have a lot of friends in in Silicon Valley. But yeah, I mean, because it's only open to accredited investors, I personally am not an accredited investor. So yeah, when I'm drawing a triangle, I am talking about, I don't know if anybody is, let's see. Let's see if I get a clip from The Office. There we go. Anytime anybody mentions any of those cryptos, yep. And again, we'll just play it one more time for a repeat. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Nah, never. I would never say anything negatively about BitConnect. Looking at some of these questions here, Bitcoin network fees are supposedly based on network volume. So, I mean, in a lot of cases, Bitcoin network fees are based upon the miners are going to process the transactions that have the largest transaction fees first, or the largest fees to the network first. So, if it's a really cheap cryptocurrency, then they're not going to process that first. So that there's an incentive to pay a higher an incentive to pay a higher fee so that your transaction is mined first, which is in a lot of cases people are jumping to make sure things happen there. So appreciate the super chats, guys. I will hop into those. So Patson, thank you very much for this. Arno, I'll get to yours first. What are my thoughts on ARK? So ARK is fairly interesting. It's been I'll pull it up on CoinMarketCap here, pop over to the website. So ARK is fairly interesting. Had a really nice run from May all the way up to mid-September when it peaked at around $400 million in market cap, close to it. Shown a little bit of resiliency recently in the past couple of weeks. But all-in-one blockchain solution, trying to make it easier to build blockchain type of blockchain resources to increase success for everybody. The roadmap itself is a little bit farther out than I'm comfortable with right now. I like the transparency of how they actually give a percentage to how far along the roadmap is. Do I have any money in ARK right now personally? No, I don't. But I think it's a promising project. I would evaluate it further for me, but I only have so much time in the day to look at specific cryptocurrencies. But I think ARK is promising. I don't have any money in it yet. Patson, thank you again for that super chat, my man. Why hasn't Satoshi, Dr. Craig Wright, sold his Bitcoin for Bitcoin Cash? I don't know. I do not know, but I know Dr. Craig Wright himself has said some not so nice things about Bitcoin and said some great things about Bitcoin Cash, so who knows? Chris Kite, what's up, my man? Dude. And gift myself drawing a triangle with the BitConnect in the center. Maybe that's the new hot GIF in the crypto streets. Could I please explain how to create a plan to make profits on Bittrex? Thank you so much. Your show is very helpful, Esteban. I appreciate that. As far as the plan to make profits on Bittrex, it isn't a different plan it's no different from a plan to make profits on GDAX or on Binance or on any other exchange out there. Kind of buy low, sell high. And to make profits is pretty damn simple. You buy cheaper cryptocurrency and you sell it when it goes up. Obviously, that's easier said than done, and obviously that's easier said than done. But you really want to have a plan going into it. Are you trying to increase your U.S. dollar holdings or whatever your local fiat is? Are you trying to buy a number of cryptocurrencies, kind of spread your wings out? Let's say you're trying to buy 10 cryptocurrencies that are smaller in nature and hit it big with one or two of them and make some crazy outsized returns. Is that is that something you're trying to happen or you're trying to make happen? Are you just trying to look to get some nice steady gains, maybe 10, 15, 20% over the course of a year or a couple months or whatever it might be? You want to evaluate what you're trying to do, figure that out, and then that helps to determine your plan. Because if you don't know what you want to do, it's impossible to determine how you want to get there. So if you're somebody that only has a little bit of money in the market and you're just like, hey, I'm gambling. Like, this is literally, I'm not trying to be smart. I'm just trying to gamble. I'm trying to go on some crappy, low market coins or some potentially crappy low market coins that may or may not be really successful in the future, then do that. If you'd rather invest in the big dogs like Bitcoin and Ethereum that might not be as volatile, like Litecoin or like Ripple that maybe not be as volatile, but they're not going to, they're maybe not going to return 10, 20, 30% because they're already multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrencies. Figure that out as well. Somebody mentioned, what is my setup? Yeah, it's just a USB microphone and a Logitech webcam, so nothing damn crazy. But I did get a nice, pretty fancy Canon DSLR, and I lost the battery charger, so I need to go buy a new one. And when I use that, it just overheats the hell out of my laptop because it's super high def, and I don't have a very high quality laptop, so it overheats my laptop, so I need a new laptop. So that I really do need a new laptop for streaming wise because it's just not as good. Jamie the Demon, what is up, my man? Good to see you as always. When do I think the next altcoin crash is coming? So I'm going to pop over here, CoinMarketCap. We'll look at the overall market capitalization. $214 billion right now in terms of the crypto market capitalization. We're at basically all-time highs right now. Pretty incredible, especially when you consider a year ago, zoom out, a year ago, the overall cryptocurrency market cap was at $13 billion. So if you had money in cryptocurrency last year, you basically couldn't have lost money. It's like physically impossible to have lost money if you had money in crypto the last year. If you got in July, if you got in the summer, pretty impossible to lose money as well. We're pretty much at all-time highs right now. Now, if you look at the market capitalization excluding Bitcoin, this is something that's also interesting because as of even like back in March and April, it was less than $5 billion. When Ethereum had its big run, it was all the way up to $70 billion market cap without Bitcoin. Right now, with the price of Ethereum as well as with the price of Bitcoin Cash, you're talking about two really large cryptocurrencies. There's almost $100 billion of market cap excluding Bitcoin, and that's including Bitcoin Cash. So will a crash happen? I wouldn't. So one thing I'll say is I don't know when and if a crash will happen. Would I be shocked if an altcoin crash happens or if an overall crash happens? No, I wouldn't be shocked. Do I want that to happen? No, because I have a lot of money in cryptocurrency. But if it happens, I'll probably just end up buying more and we'll call it a day. But I think that, over time, and I think we've started to see it, where the projects that really aren't producing anything of value, the altcoins that really just aren't doing crap and that have a super long timeline and really haven't really put much product or information out there, they've been hurt and they haven't had as much success as they did back in like the early part of the year, back when the initial altcoin run came up. Where do I buy a Ledger Nano S? Jalen, here you go. If you want to buy a Ledger Nano S, I'll put this link. So this is for the tools and the resources. I'll put this link here in the comments if you want to click on that. But basically, there's two links. So one is actually on Amazon, and the other one is directly from Ledger. The link on Amazon, I believe it's Prime shipping, so you get it in like 2 days, maybe 3. And sometimes you buy it directly from Ledger. That could take up to like a month or two. So if you want it really quick, it's a little bit more expensive. It might be like $20 more on Amazon, but for me personally, it was worth it just to get it in a couple days. Thank you very much, BS44, for the super chat, my man. What is my best and worst call or decision in crypto? So, I've had some stupid calls for sure. Have I bought some dumb cryptocurrency? Yes. What have my best trades been? So I guess I could give 3 things off the top that have been good trades. Number one, which goes to show buy and hold and just the simplicity of sometimes how effective that can be. I bought back in the day. Back in, let's see when it was. I would say like back in May of, I think it was back in May or June of 2014, I bought 1 million Dogecoin and forgot they were on my laptop. Just straight up forgot they were on my laptop. In June, when Dogecoin spiked and went to a $300 million market cap, from the $30 million market cap I bought. So when Dogecoin 10x'd, I was like, holy shit, didn't I buy didn't I buy $1 million worth of, not $1 million, god damn it, I wish it was $1 million for the Dogecoin. Didn't I buy 1 million Dogecoin? I went back on my computer, it wasn't there. I refreshed my computer, I restored it back to 2 years ago, found the wallet.dat file in the Dogecoin client. It took me 2 days to sync my Dogecoin app. 1 million Doge appear out of nowhere. I traded for a Bitcoin and I made $3,000 at the time. That Bitcoin was at like $3,000 bucks. That's what happened. I made $3,000 from a $300 investment in Dogecoin. So I 10x. So that was a stupid, funny little investment, and goes to show that a lot of people out there talk about how damn smart they are. Number one, like, I made so much money in like whatever cryptocurrency. Like, I literally bought Dogecoin and forgot that I bought $300 worth of Dogecoin. And then I checked back 2.5 years later and it was worth $3,000. And I was like, well, this doesn't suck. So number one, it pays to be lucky sometimes. Number two, just because you make 10x return doesn't mean you're a genius. It means the crypto markets are outrageously fun and crazy. So that's one thing. OMG and Neo back in OMG and Neo. I made a lot of money on both. I bought OMG at $1 and sold some of it at like $10, and I've held the rest. It's at $7 now, so I made about a 10x return on OMG initially, and I'm still holding it at around a 7x return. Neo, I bought at $6, sold it at $38. I bought it when it was Ant shares. As far as stupid investments, my biggest regret, if anybody's watching this, well, not the biggest regret that I've had, but actually it's a pretty big regret. So Manetha, I bought into Manetha at, I bought 8. We'll pop this open. Manetha, if you're playing the drinking game. But I bought into Manetha at, Jesus Christ. Manetha sucks. I bought into Manetha. I bought 8 Ethereum in the ICO. So not a tiny amount, but I bought 8 Ethereum in the ICO. It went up to, I forget what the initial price was. I think it ICO'd, I don't remember the exact ICO, but it tripled at one point in time. So my 8 Ethereum at one point were worth about 20 to 24 ETH. So I could have made, from the ICO, I could have made about, I think it was like 12 to 14 Ethereum, which isn't like incredible, but it's nothing to scoff at. Could have made about 12 to 14 ETH. And I held on to it because at that point in time, like early September, I wasn't super comfortable using Ether Delta. It like kind of made me nervous, and I didn't want to, I just wasn't super comfortable utilizing Ether Delta. So I held on to it. I was like, it's going to go back up. It's going to go back up. And it was above its ICO price for the longest time. And then once it went below its ICO price, it literally just like died. And Ether Delta is just like, right now, it's just like a dead dog lying on the side of the street. So, yeah, it's rough. Yeah, Evelyn. What do we got? That's funny as shit. You can't invest in an ICO with the turtleneck. Kill you every time. It'll kill you every time. He seems like a good dude, but the turtleneck, I should have known. I should have ran away. Ah, damn, I love whiskey. So looking at some of these questions here. Time to buy more, LOL. Burn me once, shame on me. Burn me twice, I'm jumping off a bridge. So I'm not going back in. Looks like we're selling off a little bit here on Bitcoin, and I'm curious to see, as Bitcoin is selling off a little bit, as usual, what the hell is happening with Bitcoin Cash? Nope. It's incredible. Right now, it's literally with Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, it's just the exact opposite. It's Bitcoin Cash goes up, Bitcoin goes down. Bitcoin goes down, Bitcoin Cash goes up. It is, you could probably trade back and forth between the two all damn day long, and it's just going to be up, down, up, down, up, down. It's pretty freaking crazy. So, yeah, incredible. Let's see, I'll put it on 4 hours here. It's one hell of a spike. Don't know too much about Utrust personally. Is the threat of Bitcoin Cash flipping over? I do not. I don't know. It depends upon how much the market truly values. It depends upon how much the market truly values the cost of transactions and scalability versus how much people that are currently owning Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin care about transacting Bitcoin versus having Bitcoin be a store of wealth. Joseph, I'm a simple American, boring ass white dude. I like pizza, burgers, steak, burritos, and buffalo chicken. I had a buffalo chicken wrap for dinner, so there you go. I eat buffalo chicken probably once every day. I eat steak once every day. I need a burrito maybe once every 2 days. Basic rundown of the Ledger Nano S and the details of using it. So Ledger Nano S is this little bad boy. It's just a hardware wallet. Keeps your crypto safe. Unless somebody steals your Ledger Nano S and they happen to have your password, then you're screwed. But Ledger Nano S is great. I really like it. I would recommend buying one if you have over $1,000 in crypto. If you have $1,000 in crypto, it's worth spending $100 on a hardware wallet to keep your crypto safe. If you just have a couple $100, it's probably not worth spending half your investment value into, a hardware wallet, but we'll see. What happened with Power Ledger on Bittrex? So I don't even know Power Ledger's symbol. Oh. So, let's see here. It's every guy, man. Power Ledger's had a nice run. I did not participate in the ICO. Power Ledger, one of the co-founders who reached out to me, offered to have me sponsor or offered to have me do a video review, offered to pay me in Power Ledger tokens. Quite a lot of Power Ledger tokens. I looked at the platform, I looked at the project, and thought that, quite frankly, I thought I would be doing you guys a disservice if I did a video review of Power Ledger. I didn't, at the time, think it was that great of a project, but it's come out and performed well. So, shit, what do I know? Unfortunate, because maybe you guys missed out on some money. I obviously missed out on some money because I didn't review it, and I didn't take any tokens or anything like that. I just said no, thank you. I'm not interested. But Power Ledger's had a nice run. Outside of doing a ton of research on it, I really haven't yet. If you only do day trading, how good is the Ledger Nano S? If you only do day trading, it's not like it depends upon. I think even if you're doing a lot of trading, it's good to keep things safe and store things maybe overnight or whatever on your wallet. But if you have an exchange that you like, if you're comfortable with, then do that. Any particular reason you prefer the Ledger Nano S over Trezor? I've heard good things about the Trezor. I can't pronounce it. Trezor. I've heard good things about it. I personally looked at some reviews previously online when I was evaluating a hardware wallet. I found I liked the Ledger Nano S. I believe it was actually cheaper than the Trezor as well. And it had everything I needed to do in a simple way. So I just bought the Nano S and have had zero issues with it so far at all. So I like that quite a bit. Jason, I don't see the question. If you want to re-ask the question, hard fork in January 2nd with Bitcoin plus.org. So the hard fork itself, I need to do a little bit of research on the Bitcoin Cash hard fork. One thing that and quite frankly I don't know too much about it, but one thing that I will say is that sometimes you can have a hard fork and it's not a contentious hard fork and it's not necessarily a split. It's just an upgrade of the protocol. It's an upgrade of the cryptocurrency. That might be one of them, but I need to do a little bit more research, quite frankly. So sorry about that. Silver. So I would recommend if you go to GDAX, utilize. So create a Coinbase account, go to GDAX, and then that has fees less than the highest fee that you can get on GDAX is 0.3%. You will have to wait 4 to 5 days to actually transfer in the bank money. So you're going to need a degree of patience with GDAX, but once you get patience, it's by far the cheapest way to buy any cryptocurrency, and then you buy Bitcoin or Ethereum. And if you want to buy altcoins, just move them from GDAX to Bittrex or Binance or whatever the hell you want to use and do that. Not a lot of talk about Bitcoin Gold. BTG, let's pop over. So Bitcoin Gold is sold off pretty nicely, obviously. It's on a little bit of a death spiral here. I actually think, I'm going to hop over to Twitter real quick. So hop over to Twitter. I believe Ledger actually now has support for Bitcoin Gold. Let's see. So Ledger HQ... Bitcoin Gold, actually, yeah, they're still having issues with Bitcoin Gold. They're monitoring the situation, but I believe Bitcoin Gold, they updated the ledger and they now have support. So I think for the past 2 days, you've been able to sell. I haven't even checked, actually, so I should probably do that. I should probably just sell my Bitcoin Gold. I don't know what markets it's on right now. Let's take a look. So it's on Bitfinex and so the only exchange that I have available here is I use Binance. So I have a Binance account. I actually like Binance a decent amount. It's pretty good. And they tend to have a good amount of cryptocurrency there as well, a good amount of coins. Would I keep my money on Binance? No, I wouldn't. But will I trade on Binance? Hell yeah. So I like Binance. And I would trade Bitcoin Cash on Binance in a heartbeat. I mean, not Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold. I'm not a big. I don't know how well Bitcoin Gold is going to do long term. I don't really think there's a lot of development support. I don't think they have a lot of. And if similar to what I said about Electroneum, I don't think that Bitcoin or that Electroneum has a lot of technical chops. I don't think that Bitcoin Gold necessarily has a lot of technical chops. When you're investing in a cryptocurrency, you could be good marketers. You could hard fork whatever you want to hard fork. You can do all that stuff, but if you don't have a legit, the only exchange I use is BitConnect. I hope I didn't break your headphones there, guys. I like Bittrex and Binance. Quite frankly, Binance has some more newer options than Bittrex does, but they're both good. No issues with either of them. Although everybody's had their own issues with cryptocurrency exchanges, and everybody's had their own difficulties here or there. But I've liked Binance. I've liked Bittrex. No, nothing bad at all. When will Bitcoin Gold get on Bittrex? Who knows? Bittrex tends to take a bit longer than Binance does to get to get cryptocurrencies on there. But actually, there's been a decent amount of volume in Bitcoin Gold. I mean, $38 million. It's not sneezing volume. Thoughts on Dash? Dash does a good job of marketing. They have had a nice run recently. And transactionally speaking, it's a good cryptocurrency, but I don't have any money in Dash at all right now, personally. And guys, if you are new to the channel, I mentioned it before, but if you are new to the channel, by any chance, hit that subscribe button and then hit the little notify bell next to it. The subscribe button and the notify bell. That way, next time that I do go live, that you get that notification in advance, so you can either be here from the beginning or you can just watch it later whenever you want. And then you get also the daily videos that I do. Over the next couple of days, sorry again, I was on vacation last weekend, so I wish I was able to do some lives when the Bitcoin Cash stuff went down, or when the Bitcoin Cash stuff went crazy and when that went down. I wish I was able to do some lives. I was in Disney World, so I was hanging out with Mickey Mouse while you guys were freaking out, and I was looking at Blockfolio like next to Mickey Mouse, like what the hell is going on with Bitcoin Cash and what is happening with Bitcoin. So I was in, at that point in time, I was in Disney World, and my hotel also had like the shittiest internet on the planet, so I couldn't actually do any live streams. But I'm back. I'm live. I'm back with 100 meg internet and ready to stream, ready to record all the videos. So definitely get ready for a lot of content in the next couple days for sure. Crazily enough, yeah, my vacation wasn't paid for by BitConnect. I mean, shocking, right? Shocking. What is Donald Trump's opinion on BitConnect or cryptocurrency? To be honest, I have no idea. I have no clue. But I'm in the U.S. That'd probably make a difference if he came out and said some negative things about it. But I have no clue. I don't believe he's made any type of statements in particular yet, because I feel like crypto Twitter would blow up if he did. Appreciate that, Mike Flow or Mad Flow. Any thoughts on the Bitcoin price in the next few days and in 2018? So right now, Bitcoin is my largest position personally. Bitcoin, like I said, is my largest position. Predicting the next couple of days, it's tough. I don't know where we're going to be. It's really tough to say. It depends. This Bitcoin Cash stuff definitely has to shake out in one direction or another, and I think it's a long-term thing. It's going to be a long-term attack on our debate, attack, whatever the hell you want to say. It's going to be a long-term battle, but it's going to be a long-term battle. Donnie Trump gets 1% daily interest rates on his loans. I'll tell you that much. What is my portfolio? Zachary, go over here. I think I might need to update it a little bit. So this is about 2 weeks old right now, but I'll update it a little bit because it's prior to the SegWit hard fork. But I moved a little bit of the cryptocurrency out. I actually swapped my AirSwap token and my Chainlink and my Engine Coin for for Neo. So that was the move I made. Engine Coin, Chainlink, and AirSwap is now Neo in my portfolio. I think overall CME, having the futures exchange is really interesting. I mean, when you're talking about CME Group, people want to say, whatever they want to say, but CME is a $47 billion company. $47 billion. So, I mean, you're talking about a big, big company, a established company that's been in business for a long, long time. It's done really well. And yeah, I think that having the CME's involvement there is for the most part fairly positive. Hopefully there's not any type of crazy manipulation, but I think the market manipulation as cryptocurrency gets bigger is only going to get more crazy. So what did I use building my website? Did I hire a dev? No, I know WordPress. I have a master's in IT, not that has anything to do with websites, but I've been creating websites since I was in college. Back in the day, my first website was a New York Jets website. It sucked, but yeah, I've liked to create websites for a long time. It's kind of a fun little thing there. David, what's up, my man? Hope you are doing good. David's copying dildos. That's funny, man. Hope you're having a good one. And actually, as a precursor, while I'm on live too, so I had some conversations. There is I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it yet, but there is actually a cryptocurrency conference out in Vegas in a week or so. Or not in a week, in a couple weeks or so. I might be able to go out there and speak. David Hayes is actually going to be speaking at that conference, and I might be joining David to speak there. So I'll give you guys some more information. Not sure if you might be able to join in Vegas, but if I can book travel and if that all works out, I might be out in Vegas for that conference. So a little bit of a heads up. Might be my first speaking gig in the whole crypto world, and would love to have you guys join me if I do head out there. But even if not, David's going to be out there. David's going to be out there speaking, so yeah, for sure. And if I do go out there and I'm in Vegas, I am a big craps fan. Love craps. Would love to play craps with anybody who is a degenerate gambler such as myself, which is why I'm in crypto. BS44, what's up, my man? Thank you very much for the super chat again. Mentioned trading on Binance for a few weeks, steady price, but the Bittrex listed at 2 Bitcoin per open. Might have been an error there sometimes. Let's see here. So I'll pop over to the Bittrex markets here. A lot of times when something opens up on Bittrex, they have this, let's see, power. Yeah, so when something opens up on Bittrex, what you'll notice is the stat is always screwed up. They always have this like random, the first candle basically in existence always is this one massive red candle every time something gets like added to their exchange. So I wouldn't worry about it. Like, it has nothing to do with anything. But like basically every time something new gets added to an exchange added to the Bittrex exchange, for whatever reason, the first candle always makes it look like it's down like 95% of the day when really it's up like 5 or 10%. I don't know why that is, what the reason for that is, but that seems to be like an error on Bittrex's part. So nothing to worry about there. I'm not in on Power Ledger, but definitely take a, it's not a big deal. Why no love for Monero? I do dig Monero. Definitely do dig Monero. I don't own any Monero. I was looking at Monero when it was around $80, and it had a really nice movement as of late up to $120-something. So I didn't pull the trigger on it. Shame on me. But I was looking at Monero when it was around $80. I went up to around $100, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll wait till it drops back down. It didn't drop back down. So I've kind of held off a little bit recently, but I think Monero definitely is a strong use case. Actually, I've talked to the lead developer quite a bunch. We have this nice thing where we like to make fun of Electroneum. If you invest in Electroneum, I'm sorry, my sincere apologies, but Fluffy Pony on Twitter likes to throw some jabs that way, and I like to participate in those jabs. So but Monero is a really interesting cryptocurrency. Privacy is a big thing. I think privacy, whether it's Monero, Zcash, Navcoin, a lot of privacy cryptocurrencies out there. I think some are going to do really well. So we'll see what ends up happening there. Any thoughts on the Lisk rebranding? Typically, the rebrands help spike the price of a cryptocurrency. There's a couple different random things from a crypto perspective that end up helping to spike the price. Rebrands are things that always seem to spike the price. Conferences always seem to spike the price, and they sell off the second that conference actually happens. There's a lot of different like random little things, but rebrands, rebrands definitely tend to do that. Yeah, so even to that point, David, I went in for the kill this time. Electroneum isn't a scam, but they're far from a good altcoin. Yeah, I would agree with that. I had some comments earlier, and I've gotten a bunch of pushback from people. But, when you're trying to be the most accessible cryptocurrency on the planet, you don't have the technical chops to actually develop a desktop and you don't have the technical chops to do anything but hard fork Monero and then actually develop a usable wallet outside of a paper wallet, whether it's a desktop or a mobile wallet. You don't have that experience. You don't have that expertise. You're not the most accessible cryptocurrency on the planet. You just have really good marketing, and there's a lot of people that bought into it. Yeah, Ponycoin is crushing it, for sure. Book recommendations. I would say Digital Gold is one good book for sure. I would definitely recommend checking that out. Digital Gold is solid, and If anybody has any other good book recommendations outside of that, I've read a couple other cryptocurrency books that haven't been super incredible. Actually, here I'll pull it up. Pull it up for you guys. So let's see. What do I got? What do I got? Give me 1 second here. Blah, 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 blah. So I would, book recommendation wise, I think I talk a little bit about it in this video, but if you need a specific book, these two books are solid. Those two books are solid: Digital Gold and then Crypto Assets. Digital Gold is very much the history of Bitcoin. Really no other cryptocurrencies around at that point in time, but it focuses, Digital Gold in the comments there, focuses on the history of Bitcoin. Super interesting. I love the book. Talks a lot about the libertarian roots. And then Crypto Assets is by Chris Berniski, who started working at I think it was ARK Invest. Did Crypto Assets, the second link there. So here we go. Chris Berniski is a dude who runs Placeholder VC, formerly was an analyst at ARK Invest, doing their crypto asset efforts in evaluating cryptocurrencies. He's a super sharp guy, and you can see here's this Crypto Assets book in the background. I would definitely recommend checking those both out. Crypto Assets, interesting. Digital Gold, if you're just looking for like a basic primer on like what Bitcoin is, how it got started, why it's popular. Digital Gold is awesome. Love it. I have not read Age of Cryptocurrencies yet. That has not been one that I've read at this point in time. So I'm big on Audible as well. A lot of times, because I actually commute. Unlike my homies in the BitConnect world that live on loans and live at the beach, your boy Bobby commutes to work in the morning in Manhattan. So I listen to books on my commute. So outside, I listened to Digital Gold. That was a 10-hour audio book, and I was like fascinated for it the whole time. The other one that I listened to recently that I thought would be interesting, but was really basic, like way more basic than I needed, was like Bitcoin, the complete guide, or the only complete guide. That was super basic. So, but Chris Berniski with, I'll put those links in there again. Chris Berniski with Crypto Assets. That's much more of a like formulaic approach to investing in cryptocurrencies, or what Chris in a lot of cases calls crypto assets. And Digital Gold is more of the story of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin's foundation and where it came from. Satoshi Nakamoto, people like Hal Finney, the cypherpunk movement, libertarian roots. Pretty cool stuff. And guys, outside of that, so if you are new to the channel, like I said, as always, hit that subscribe button, hit the little notify bell. Thank you very much, Sakura. Very much appreciate that super chat. Hope you enjoy the videos. Hope everybody enjoys the videos. If you ever have any questions, if you have suggestions, if you want to see a video, if there's a topic you have for a video too, why am I giving you just an overall Twitter link? If you ever have a topic you want for a video link, for a video, if you want a specific video tomorrow, you're really interested in it, that's my Twitter here, crypto_Bobby. There's the link. Send me a tweet and say, hey, I want to see a video topic on this tomorrow. I literally, sometimes video topics are super easy. They come to me. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happens. Like this week, Bitcoin Cash went down. But sometimes not much is going on in the market. And if you guys want specific topics, send me a tweet. Send me an email, whatever. Tweets are probably easier though, but send me a tweet and just say, hey, I want to hear about XYZ, and I'll try to make it happen. I can't make every video, but I'll try to make it happen. So if you guys have good ideas, if you guys have topics you want covered, hit me up, let me know, and I will do my best to try and make the channel as good as possible. Who gets the money when you send a super chat? I think it's 50% me, 50% YouTube. So it's, yeah. Guys, at this point in time, long day in the office, long day on YouTube YouTube Live coming up on 2 hours or so at this point in time. So if you have any questions, if you need anything at all, definitely please let me know. And again, if you have some ideas or if you have some subjects you want to hear tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to be pumping out videos the next couple days. I will also most likely be doing a YouTube Live tomorrow, same time, 9 p.m. or so. So I'll be looking to do a YouTube Live tomorrow at 9 p.m. or so, most likely. So definitely feel free to join that. But looking forward to having those discussions with you guys. There'll be a recorded video up tomorrow morning. So send those suggestions my way for your topics. If you like something, if you want to hear something, let me know. But until then, I'm out of whiskey. It's done. So I might play a game of Call of Duty World War II and then go to bed. Appreciate the time, everybody. Thank you so much for joining.